I know some of my recordings end up being sort of far-fetched to some people, and that's understandable because my whole life has been pretty far-fetched, and I'm sure many people have thought to themselves, man, if you knew my life, it seems like a movie. Like, it seems like the things that happen to me just couldn't be real. Like, they can't possibly happen. But then you could ask other people that their life is so boring and they've never really done much because they've just lost their inspiration, their hope, and their imagination. So, this is what I'm about to say. It's very interesting, but it's true. So, and I know because I'm there. I wasn't there. I am there. And I will be there. I've always been there. So, you notice how most models and women who want to look good seem sort of ditzy. It's not just blonde people. It's most women who put on makeup. And we would say that that's because, there are two primal distortions to putting on makeup. One is already happens with or without the makeup. They try to impress people by saying, "Oh, look at me, I'm so pretty." They want to look good and they want to dress good. But then when you add the makeup, it happens to people that are like models and stars more. We say it's because they're trying to fit the social structure. But I'm telling you, they try to fit the social structure before they're in Hollywood. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with that they're wearing more makeup. And they're buying and wearing more jewelry that's sold for material purposes. If you wear material things, especially things that are made with byproducts, let's say a person who comes out of the womb as a child is starting a new life totally confused, totally unknowing. So he's a child, okay? If you use the placenta the child itself is pretty confused. The placenta holds everything that is just purely vital stuff, purely vital. Cell division, stuff like that harms, stuff like that just, it goes through a process the human brain doesn't understand. I understand it, so I can't put it into words. I wish I could, but there aren't words for it. But let me try to tell you this. Picture the little organisms in the placenta or the animal byproducts, like the scum we get from frog eggs and other eggs and fish and all the stuff that we don't eat, but we put on our bodies or we wear. Even minerals that are sold with bad intentions to make money have this same effect, but not as much. But you kill something or you use a byproduct to make lipstick. If you let a carcass sit for a couple days, it's pretty gross. But luckily, the people who wear so much makeup usually put a fresh bit on that's fresh when they first put it on, and they cover it back up because we know makeup can get really bad. That's why it's all in airtight things, and if you leave it open, it cakes up, and that's just the cellular activity of the animal bacteria that's in your makeup. That's why it solidifies, because it's alive and it dies. Anything that hardens is something that's either alive or chemically active, and then it either dies or it hardens. And in a way, chemically active is also mineral liquid that is alive, but in its own way, it's just holding the memory of the person who intended its action. So when you get to lipstick and stuff like that that uses animal byproducts and even placentas, it's got nothing but raw, scared action bacteria. And that may not make sense because it doesn't make them be evil unless they include evil or horrible visions and the kind of stuff they watch at home and the kind of stuff that they do. If they do gross, grotesque things, like they're into horror movies and gore and they wear a lot of makeup, it'll sort of make them seem evil. It'll turn them dark. Why do you think like people that wear black lipstick and black makeup watch like dark movies? Because they start by watching the dark movies, and then when they put the makeup on them, that cellular activity of those byproducts and placentas of pure first chakra nature absorb into their skin, get to their brain, and mutate it. I know people know that there's carcinogenic things that change your cells. Well, these things change your cells too. Every cell that is changed affects your brain. Your body is one big station that works together in unison, no matter the part. So, with that being said, a lot of the blondes that are starring and stuff, at least it used to be more popular to be all blondes because it was just this floozy thing that we had in our heads. And blondes are perfect. I love blondes. I love brunettes. I love redheads. I love everybody, male or female. There's not that sexual love in me anymore. But a lot of times we said blondes were airheads, but it was because most of them were the ones that they depicted in movies, and we saw them depicted that way. So then the people would think the blondes were dumb. They might not say it to their blonde daughter, but then they would have a blonde daughter and be like, oh no, she's going to grow up to be an airhead. And they would predict and project their thoughts thoughts on it, depending on how conscious the daughter was as she grew, literally. And then if you put makeup on your face and you have sort of an airhead, it makes you even stupider because it's just that adolescent first chakra nature. It doesn't mean it's going to be horrible or that you're going to be a terrible person. It just means that it's affecting your brain to think lower, to think not alchemically, but chemically, almost prematurely. I mean, if you want to think preteen is a kid who before they're teen. You know how they say swallow a load of cum, it's a lot of protein? I'm not trying to be gross, but there's a lot of protein. That's way before you're a teen there, okay? That's living. So any protein you're eating that is from an animal holds animal cell memory. Whether you understand it or not, it's true. Science knows this. Other people know this. If you're just intuit enough, you know that that's true. What I'm saying is true. And if you don't like it, that's you being ignorant to it and afraid of facing the truth. That's sort of dumb on your part, honestly. But it's your choice. I just want to let you know I love you and I'm trying to help. So, start wearing makeups that are only made with flowers without chemicals or plants without chemicals. And don't make sure you look into it and see that it doesn't have any animal byproducts or things that you can't pronounce. Start making your own if it's that important to you. Or be as beautiful as you are and work on making yourself look good to you without makeup. Those are your answers. Until next time, I love you. Peace.